all, and welcome to another World of Tanks video. As always, I'm Blood Gold, and I'm going to try and look at the camera and stuff and learn how to do that while we do this. And with me, as always, is...
It's Mad Larkin without a camera because I'm a cheapskate.
we'll fix that. So, what we wanted to do was set up kind of a, I guess, comparison, or...
You could call it comparison kind of slash review for a Wargaming. Yeah, Wargaming has a special sale going on for Christmas where they have a lot of tanks that are either retired or special tanks for the premium shop that normally aren't for sale anymore for sale. So we just kind of wanted to do a quick rundown of some of the ones we thought would be worth buying if you wanted to buy them.
So, being new to the game, I would love this information, and since Mad Larkin has been playing for how many years now?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, so we won't go over that one. It's great information to have. Is it worth it? Pros, cons on getting it. Why you should have already picked up the Cromwell B if you didn't own a Cromwell yet, and how great,
Cromwell.
dude. But the package was amazing. That's the point. The fact of everything that you got inside with the Cromwell B, the crew upgrade that was free. You got Brothers in Arms right off the bat. That's insane. A full crew, a garage slot, the tank. I mean,
In case you're wondering, people, we're actually not doing a review on the Cromwell B.
not at all. We're not doing it. You've already missed it if you haven't done it. But anyways, let's get to it. We've already spoke too long. So the tanks that we are going to compare are going to be the Jag Tiger Pack 43. We're also going to be choosing the 105 LEF H18B2.
From now, we'll refer to it as the 105.
The 105. It's the artillery piece, and then we're also grouping into that the TOG 2. So yeah, it's TOG 2, and then the third we're gonna go over the I think our favorite pick, and we are definitely gonna be picking it up and running it together, is the IS-3A. It's a great tank. So between the tank destroyer and the IS-3A, those are our two favorite picks, and we're gonna slam the reasons why you should get a TOG in the middle. And I think we're ready, right? Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, so there's just no downside to our first pick.
Yeah, well, there are some downsides, but you'll see them later on.
So this is the Jag Tiger 43, Pack 43, however you want to say it. Just
most people in game call it the Jag Tiger 88 because this version of the hull has the 88 centimeter gun.
Right. So with the Jag Tiger 88, we're going to compare it to the Ferdinand for the armor.
Yeah, armor and hit points.
And then we're also going to compare it to just the regular Jag Panther for the caliber of gun.
Yes.
That's why we have three.
Yeah, the Ferdinand is the Tier 8, one of the Tier 8 German tank destroyers, and the Jag Panther is the Tier 7 German tank destroyer that would actually come before the Ferdinand.
Which would be the best comparison for the DPM.
Yes.
So let's get to it. So as you can see already, just starting off, the base HP all around for both the Ferdinand and for the Panther it's just 100 points difference. Now that could be splash damage worth, that could be a pen shot depending on the tank. But to me, that's negligible. What do you think?
Yeah, and to give you an idea, the Ferdinand has good hit points for a Tier 8 tank destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
It can take a good couple of hits at its own tier before it becomes an issue. So at 1,300 hit points, the Jag Tiger 88 can take some hits.
Right, and we're not taking into account the effect of the slope of the armor or angling of the shot. We're just saying if you had average damage from an average tank and you were mid to top tier, I mean, an extra 100 points to me isn't really... I mean, if I'm getting shot, I'm going to die more than likely in one of these things.
Nah. Oh, and just to jump back real quick, the reason that the Jag 88 is a retired tank, as it says there, this has premium matchmaking, which means we'll only ever see Tier 9, which is the reason it was pulled off the premium shop.
That's another thing.
I want to say about 6 or 8 months ago is when it was pulled.
We're also going to go over some of the outside of the pros or cons of purchasing the tank, just due to the fact that there are some really good things about purchasing some of these tanks that you need to take into account. Premium matchmaking,
which is a big one, because the only reason I mentioned it is because at hit point value, if a Ferdinand sees a tier 10 game, 1200 HP is a 2-shot kill.
Yeah.
For a tier 10 tank destroyer, whereas 1300 hit point is a if you get lucky, it'll take 3 shots. But since you will never see tier 10, 1300 hit points is really good.
Right. So the last thing I want to say is that there are, in these package deals, there's, gold and cruise and this, that, the other thing. So we're going to go over the tanks, and then at the end of each one of these, we're going to also go over what their package deal comes with, because every one of these comes with something else also, and it's worth something. So we got to go over it, or there's no point. So the hit points, great. Signal range, 710 across the board.
Bad.
Not bad. Speed limit, it's, the Ferdinand is faster.
Yeah, and the Ferdinand is not a mobile tank
No.
Like, do not expect to get anywhere quickly in a Jag 88. It isn't going to happen.
No, I mean, and obviously, we're not going to compare the speed with the Jag Panther.
The
that's
Jag
just
Panther's
stupid.
only here for the gun, so
Just
ignore
the
those
gun.
stats
We're going to
until he
ignore
gets to the
those
gun.
stats. But the speed limit's, comparable. The back limit is comparable. I mean, 2 miles an hour plus or minus.
And
You're not going to feel it. The weight ton ratio, that's actually quite a bit of a difference. 3 ton.
and they're about the same size. If you were to park them next to each other, they're relatively close.
They
in size.
have the same, relative outline too when you have them hauled down. So, load limit is quite substantially more on the
which is nice, because with being a premium tank, it comes as is, but you can add modules like your tank gun rammer or your enhanced gun lane drive stuff. And having a nice big weight limit like that allows you to put on whatever modules you want without any worry of weight.
Which
like,
is, I think, just an innate thing of the premium tanks. They're not going to give you a tank that isn't going to be able to take some of the modules. Plain and simple. They're just not going to.
Yeah, you'll always have a weight limit that will allow you for that. But a load limit's still pretty good at 74 tons.
Yep. And as you can see, the commander, radio operator, driver, gunner, loader. Same across the board.
Yep. Which will be nice, because you could take, if you happen to have a Ferdinand, you could take your Ferdinand crew, put it in the Jag 88, and you don't have to worry about one crew member not getting trained because it didn't take as many, or you need an extra crew member because it needs more, so on and so forth. It's a good straight across trade.
Just nice level, playing field for the experience. Now, this is where we get into some of the better parts. This front armor is
50 millimeters.
That's
good.
That's substantial.
That's very good.
Premium matchmaking, and the fact that thing has like a 6-degree slope already.
Yeah, and the Ferdinand has 200 millimeters of armor, and the Ferdinand in a hold down position where you can't see the lower plate, like say if I was on a low hill and I could angle my tank a little bit.
Good luck.
It's hard to dig out as is. So with the Jag 88 having 50 more millimeters of armor, it's just going to make it impossible.
And like I said, premium matchmaking, and you're looking at some really good solo queues, or even dual queues if you have a buddy like me and Matt Larkin will be doing, and that should be fun.
Yeah.
Beyond that, though, side and rear, 80-80, standard.
Don't expect much out of it.
Nope.
You can get some out of it if you happen to have a light tank that comes up on you or something, like a low tier light tank, tier 7, tier 6. You could get lucky and get some bounces, but don't expect much out of the side armor.
No, not at all.
If they get around you, you're toast.
Pretty much. You're not. I mean, this is where we're gonna fall apart a little on the tank. Also, once we move further down, we hit the mobility, and dropping 140 horsepower.
Yeah, this is where you're gonna start seeing the Jag 88 fail.
Yeah, that's just horrible. And then your horsepower to tonnage 10.
Yeah, that's bad. So even though this tank can do 28 kilometers an hour, if you're on flat terrain, like say you're in a valley or going across the meadow, don't expect to hit that fast. You will hit it, but it's going to take time. You're not going to jump up to 28 and be cruising.
No, yeah, it's gonna. I mean, it doesn't matter what your ground, your hard terrain resistance, your medium terrain resistance, and your soft terrain resistance aren't going to make up that much. I mean, yes, 1.5 and 2.40 are decent ground resistances, but it's not. Your weight to ton ratio is not there.
Yeah, hills are going to be a nightmare.
I've seen beach whales get back in the ocean faster. Let's just put it that way.
Just about, yeah.
All right. And this is the other kicker. Not only are you slower, you get caught on fire 5%,
Yeah.
and that's
This-
space to armor. So you get smacked by 2 minutes. The best thing to do to these things is hit them with the heat. They hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
funny as
if
hell.
you're willing to spend the extra credits to fire heat, that's the best way to beat. If you have to take these on from the front, that's the way to do it.
That's just the way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, and the other reason that is, by the way, is the engine goes from diesel to gasoline. Okay? Now, in the war, one of the biggest reasons why the Russians had such a great advantage over the Allies and the Germans and everything, they ran all their tanks on it's diesel. So with it being in such cold weather, it's operated so much better. Well, it also had the other thing of not being able to be caught on fire as easily. Hence the reason why in World of Tanks, yes, any of the engines that are diesel will have a lower chance of catching on fire. It is just in the game. It's not a stat that is announced. It's one of the hidden stats. And as you can see, it comes up right here where both of our gasoline engines are 5% chance higher to get caught on fire.
Yeah.
Just
And
because of the engine swap.
And if you've played this game at all as Germans, you know that German tanks burn well.
Very. Ooh. I mean, just like their leader. Oh, is it too soon?
Aw.
Is it too soon?
It's not too soon.
Ava Brown went with her. Never too soon to bag on Hitler. All right. That's got to be like the new catchphrase for our show. Never too soon to bag on Hitler. All right. View range. This is where the kicker is. 390? Are you kidding me?
That's a good view range for a tank destroyer. And then
Right there.
With as immobile as this tank is, I would be taking probably a binoculars to give you that
binocs.
extra view range.
There's just
So-
no doubt about it. Binocs.
Yeah, you're
not
going to be
moving.
talking 450 view range.
Yeah, without a crew, without a trained up crew. Once you get that trained up crew, I mean, in this you'll get that very quickly with the premium account. Very good.
Yeah.
26 degrees traverse.
That's not bad. I mean,
that's
this is
not
a
bad.
hull, this is a hull mounted gun, so you're not even turning a turret. That's
No.
just from the side to side that it can
Yeah,
shoot. And
I think that's really good.
traverse arc is not very good.
No,
At 10 and 10.
the depression is not the name of the game in this tank.
It's not bad if you can get on a low hill.
Risks. It doesn't cut the risks.
Yeah.
It
At
doesn't.
a low hill, it does good.
Yeah. Armament. There we go.
This is another one of the. This is the reason we have the Jag Panther here, and this is another reason that the 88 is so good with its premium matchmaking.
So the penetration on AP is 203.
Yeah, which is the same as the Jag Panther, which is a tier 7
Yep.
German tank destroyer. The Ferdinand here is using a 128 centimeter gun, which is much bigger, which is why you get that 246 millimeter penetration. But 203 at tier 8 is still good. I mean, if you're shooting a Ferdinand in the open, you could pen a Ferdinand at close range because a Ferdinand only has 200 millimeters of armor.
But let's just be honest. You're going to be shooting at heavies with mostly flat armor. Most of the tanks in the tier that you're going to be facing are going to be coming at you head on or from the side. You're going to kill them. You're just going to get them before they get you.
Yeah, with these kind of shells. I mean, the damage is good. 240 average damage per shot is good.
That's real nice. And look at that speed.
Yeah.
The AP speed. I mean, it's 80 more. That's some velocity right there. And look at that
Yes, good.
APCR punch. 1250. That's another 100 over. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's-
velocity in all of this is just
Yeah, the nice thing about
insane.
the fast shells is against the faster mediums and lighter tanks, you have a lot less chances of missing because you don't have to aim so far ahead and stuff like that. So that travel speed is nice.
So, and then here we go with our DPM. You're obviously going to now have a higher DPM than the Ferdinand, just due to the fact that it's a premium tank. If you're not going to have a higher DPM than the Ferdinand, then
Well, and it also comes to rate of fire and stuff like that because you look at this
Exactly.
rate of fire, 11.11 11 rounds a minute, and that's without a gun rammer or a trained crew. This is just base stats versus 5 rounds a minute.
You put Brothers in Arms and, a gun rammer, and it's going to start getting hairy.
Yeah. And if you compare it to the tier 7, the Jag Panther with the Pack 43 at 9.84 rounds a minute, you're even firing faster than a tank that comes with this gun.
Yeah. I mean 9.84 compared to 11.11. That's
a good boost.
That's a trade. That's more than a trade. Your accuracy is 0.31. Your aim time is 2. So far, you're just beating everything except for the accuracy. I mean, 1.
Oh, 0.31's good, though.
Oh, yeah. No. 0.31 is completely. I'm just saying the difference between the.
Of the 0.01.
Yeah, it's just not. The difference is you're not going to notice. Where you're going to notice is at 0.30 seconds of aim time.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
That's the kicker right there. 2 second down to 2 second aim time. That's where you're going to catch the biggest difference, I think. Stationary camo values.
This thing's big. You're going to see
it. You're just going to see it. Don't worry about it.
6.5. I mean, even though the Ferdinand's close to the same size, 9.5. Like it's the Ferdinand is much easier to hide, but with the armor you have, if you can get into a good position, even though you're getting seen earlier on, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
We're not going to worry about the battle performance stats because that's going to be skewed, obviously, over the last couple of years. We don't know when they've been updated. I'd much rather have a true value. So, final comments, final thoughts.
Personally, in battle, I fought against a ton of these over the years of playing. I hate this tank.
It's the dumbest thing. Whenever I've gone up against it, it's
fighting against the 88.
It's a brick house. It kills you.
When I'm playing my higher tier artillery and I see an 88 on the field, that guy's gonna get hit by some shells because I know what they can do.
So on the Blood Gold Mad Larkin scale of 1 to infinity, are we going beyond on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I say purchase. I think it's a definitely get. I mean, we're both getting it, and it's good. You need it. You need it in your house. You need it in your wheelhouse. You need to know how to play it. You should know how to play against it. And for the deal, I think it's awesome. So let's real quick kick over to the deals, and we're gonna scroll down, and you're gonna be this tank is gonna be available on. Next one down. Where are we at? Right there. For $50, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at $50.
For some people, is a lot because you can get a new game nowadays for $50.
You get a garage slot.
A tank.
Right. You get a garage slot. Cool. This is where we're at. 1,200 gold. I've got the buy any gold amount, so I'm just gonna plug in 1,200 gold, and it doesn't look like it comes out to more than $10.
Yeah, no, it's still a good deal.
So this tank, we can go 2,000 gold real quick, and it comes out to 1034. So you're getting that depending on how many garage slots you've already bought. Depends on how much you're going to be paying for one. So I'll say about 300 to 500 gold.
Yeah, usually
for a garage slot. So we can tack on, we'll say 2,500 gold total, just to be safe, which isn't what you're getting. But we'll say it's $12.63. So you can't look at it in this regard as getting a bunch of gold also on top of it. So we're looking at it just purely from the tank standpoint, and I say it's worth it. I really do.
Yeah, it's a good tank. It's one of the tanks when they announced that they were going to get rid of it. I sat there and went hum and hawed because I didn't know if I wanted to get it, and I already had good premium tanks. And at the time, I wasn't playing German tank destroyers, so I wouldn't have been training a crew. And then they got rid of it, and I've kicked myself till the day they informed me that they're going to be selling it again. And I will. I don't care how broke I am. I will get this tank.
Right, and I think it's just an all-around decent purchase. I really think it is.
It's a great choice.
So we're going to continue on. We're going to go over to the 105 LEF now. So this is going to be a tier 5 premium tank destroyer or artillery piece.
Artillery.
I mean, yes, Sky Cancer, it exists. It's a class in the game. Get used to it. I shoot it. I've been playing it for the last week straight. I've been playing a tier 6. I've been grinding out tier 6 artillery for the French, and I'm sorry, it's inaccurate as all shit. I fire 5 rounds in like 10 minutes. It feels like it takes forever. It takes absolutely forever. And if it does hit, the damage arc is insane. Okay, maybe at top tiers when you have like a Conqueror gun carrier or something like that. Yes, getting one-shotted by him sucks. But more often than not, they're missing and reloading and missing and reloading or bouncing it's just...
People say these are broken tanks because you're shooting at me and I can't see you. Well, if you compare to it, if you see me and shoot me, I'm going to die in one shot anyways.
It's also like protect yourself. Hide where you know you can't get shot really by it, and somebody gets killed by an artillery piece. See where they were, and then you can look on your mini map and you can angle. Okay, well they can't shoot over that mountain and hit him from that direction, so he has to be over there. So just look at your map, or maybe even ask, hey, where did it come from? Because they're gonna have a
general
marker.
idea.
Yeah. So let's get into it. France self-propelled gun. Not much to go over. We're gonna compare it to the AMX-13 and the Bishop. Same reasoning for the last one, so we won't need to waste our time to go over and say why each one is for what. It's
a tier 5 artillery piece.
It's a tier 5 artillery piece.
The hit points are a joke. You're an artillery piece, 260 hit points compared to the other French tier 5, which is 220 hit points. Most of the time, you're going to get one-shotted.
Yeah, you're going to get one-shotted, so let's just not even talk about that. Signal range, cool, 525 meters, nobody cares. Speed limit,
actually, that's
honest.
bad.
Yeah.
For signal range, because artillery relies so much on allies spotting for them and then
does this
firing
get premium
indirectly.
Matchmaking?
You know what? I honestly don't know.
Can you look that up while we continue on?
Yeah.
I will say, though, the Commander Radio Operator for perks is amazing. Okay? That's like probably one of the best combos you can get for the Commander, because if you go out anyways as your Commander, your sight range and everything is going to go down. Your Radio Operator doesn't really matter. And you say, if I get hit, cool. Well, here's the thing. You can get splashed and take module damage as you're moving because you did get spotted in another artillery piece. The last thing you want at that point is your loader to go out or something like that. That would suck, because then you're reloading, and now it's like, okay, instead of 30 seconds, it's a minute and a half, and I have to sit here. So sometimes you'll see, I do know, I have seen it, where the Commander can be other positions other than the Radio Operator. Like, Commander is also the driver.
Yes. There's times where the Commander does multiple jobs other than radio, or I've even seen a Commander be a loader.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing you do not want, is your Commander being the loader or something like that, because that's two very crucial jobs that go down, where Commander and Radio Operator, how many times do you actually heal your Radio Operator? Let's just be honest. You guys don't do it very often. I don't do it very often. I mean, that's the reason why half of my tanks' Radio Operators are behind on experiences, because they've been dead at the end of a battle. I'm like, I even have a health pack, and I still don't use it right at the last second. Because if
it does not look like this gets premium.
It does not?
It does not.
Okay, so there we go. No premium matchmaking, so you will see higher tier, obviously.
Which is fine, because you're artillery, you're shooting high explosive most of the time, so you're going to be doing damage anyways.
So, like 60 millimeters of hull armor, yay, compared to 40.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's get to the meat of this. Engine horsepower, sweet. Yes, you move faster. That's good. Get into position faster. Move out of position faster. Great. Mm-hmm. Horsepower to weight tonnage, okay.
It's pretty low. It's going to take you some time to get up to it, but
pretty chuggy. Gasoline engine again. I don't know why. All these tanks have to have gasoline engines.
Yeah. Well, and when you're in artillery, if you're getting set on fire, it means you're getting shot at, which means you're dead anyways. Yeah. So don't even
bother.
Yeah, don't bother.
This is nice. Traverse arc is 15 degrees. That means they have a wider start angle,
Yeah.
basically. So that's pretty good. 2 more degrees of traverse arc is really good. Then we have what we care about.
The
What do you think?
shells. 410 average damage if you happen to get a penetration hit with high explosive is good.
Yeah.
It's comparable. The reason we brought the bishop down is for the gun itself here. As you can see, 410 compared to the bishop's 450. The other French one here, 445. They're all really comparable
Mhm.
at 410. Even though you're less damage per each one, it's not significant.
I just don't know.
Yeah, penetration 53, 60, 57, pretty comparable still.
If
Actually, HE 53 mils of penetration means you're going to be one-shotting most light tanks if they're under your tier, just because they're lightweight armor and stuff like that. Even lower tier medium tanks
I
have real
haven't
thin
looked,
armor.
I haven't looked at the speed, the reload base, or anything like that. First of all, have not seen any of this so far. From my perspective, if I was an artillery player, sure.
Yeah, well, the shell speed at 410 is really good because if you look at the bishop's 270,
Yeah.
it's the bishop takes, and I've played the bishop. It takes forever for your shell to get to where it's going. So if you're shooting at a tank that's moving, it's really, really hard because you like fire the shell, you go make a sandwich, maybe watch a TV show, come back and watch the shell hit the ground.
Turn on Doctor Who, get it over with.
Yeah, but so
Bite
at
the bullet.
410, that's really good. That means your shell's traveling at a pretty quick speed, which is nice for artillery. Makes it easier to hit. Damage a minute is this is
where it gets me. This is where I would play it. 2644?
Yeah, this tank
Who
fires.
Who gave the French the caffeine? Like,
Yeah, because and that's why when I meant at
that's
the damage.
insanity.
Yeah, it's a damage it being 410 instead of 445 or 450. Doesn't matter because your firing rate is so fast on this tank that you're actually outdoing the other guys.
No, yeah. I mean, you're literally
By a lot.
outfiring everything on. I mean, that DPM is pretty good. I mean, that's
Yeah.
scary good.
Yeah, that's quick.
6.45 rounds a minute.
Yeah,
Good.
That's brutal. That's pretty fast for tier 5 artillery.
Yeah, that's like almost 3 rounds more than anything in its class.
A 9-second reload, or just under 9.3 second reload, and that's without again gun rammer and crew. That's impressive for artillery.
You can get that down to
complain-
6 seconds easily.
Yeah,
Easily.
people complain that the British guns are obnoxious to have to play against because they fire so fast.
This French thing is. I
This-
mean, up until this gun stat, I would not have said this one series. I knew it had to have this. I knew it had to have this because everything else yet was subpar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There was nothing about this thing that screamed "make me a premium," and then we get to this. That's
Yeah.
an insane rate of fire with an insane arc with an insane degree of fire range that you don't have to turn.
yeah.
Let's just get it going, you know?
If you do have to turn, that's where this tank's a bummer. It
Yeah.
has a long aim time. 5.1 seconds is terrible.
That's really
That's a
no
long
bueno.
time to re-aim. And then accuracy as well, 0.74 is really bad.
This
But
arc
at the
though,
rate of but at the rate of fire you have, you make up for the accuracy by being able to get the shells in the air.
you get that nice 10, extra rounds, extra.
Which, if you go through 42 rounds in one game, either your team's failing really bad or you're just shooting to shoot.
Right.
Like the chances of going through 42 rounds in one game is pretty much nil.
so
So
what do
you
you
never
think?
have to worry about ammo. What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think? I think we spent
about-
more than enough time on this artillery piece.
Yeah,
I say if you have the spare money, which let's take a look at it. I would say you have to look at it from the point of view that it's $29.99.
Yeah, and I would also add in, if you have no intention of playing French artillery, I wouldn't get this because this is a great true craning artillery piece. This being low tier isn't going to make you a lot of credits like the other premiums.
Exactly.
So if you're playing French artillery, this is a great pickup.
Now here's the kicker. Okay. 4,700 gold is $22. Okay, so this is where we're getting at with this now. The worse, quote unquote, the tank is, or whatever piece it is, it seems that Wargaming is throwing in more enticing gold. So look at it this way. If you put in the $22 You're paying $7 for a tank.
Yeah, right now this is a good deal.
I
When
would
the
say
tank
yes. If you look at it that way, I would say yes. It's a good deal if you want it in your lineup for whatever reason. If you ever even thought about it, technically right now, if you want some extra gold, you're paying $7 for the tank.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this tier of tank being tier 5, it's fun to play.
Yeah.
If you happen to lose, you know what? Bummer. Like, you don't play tier
Bummer.
5 premiums to
Exactly.
make credits or to win. You play tier 5 premiums to screw around and have a blast.
Exactly. So we're gonna mosey on to our next one, which is gonna be the Tog 2. And with the Tog 2, we're gonna have the Churchill 7 and the Black Prince. Churchill 7 is gonna be there for the armor, just like the other one, and the Black Prince is there for the pounder. That 17 pounder. That is.
So, yep.
So let's kick it off. Tiers right here, 6 and 7. If we were smart, we'd see this annotation earlier and we would know what tiers. So definitely got preferential matchmaking for the Tog.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a Tog. I'm done. I'm not even gonna review the Tog. Okay, it's the fucking Tog. If you don't know what the Tog is, it's the Tog. It's the most.
It's the worst, best heavy tank in the game.
It's the worst, best heavy tank. Okay, it's got the craziest amount of hit points.
Yeah.
The absolute craziest. Okay, you're looking at a tier fucking 6 tank. Tier 6. And it's got 1,400 hit points.
Yeah. Like, if you think back to the beginning of this video, the Jag 88 had 1,300 hit points. That was a tier 8 tank destroyer.
Premium.
This has more hit points.
Premium tank destroyer.
This has more hit points than tier 8 tanks, and it's tier 6.
All right, so you can see 960 HP, 1,400. I mean, why not? Okay. Signal range, great. All right. This is 14 kilometers an hour. That kind of sucks.
And if you look at the picture, in case you're wondering, yes, it is bigger than a bus.
It is
This thing's long.
very long.
It's huge.
And
it's
you
massive.
wouldn't believe it, but there's 2 engines in it. As slow as this thing goes. There's 2.
There's many a jokes about the USS Beached Whale.
So our speed limit's 14 kilometers. If you don't know anything about the Tog, we're not going to spend much time on it, obviously. Yeah. We got some hull armor here at just some,
Ridiculously bad.
Flat hull armor of 76 millimeter.
Yeah, and if you compare it to the tier 6 British heavy tank of 152 millimeters, it's bad.
Yeah, it's just not good. We're not even going to go over that one. The engine horsepower. Okay, it's a Tog. We're moving on.
It's bad. Yep. Because Tog.
Tog. Look.
Here's where the Tog
This
starts.
is where it just gets dumbfounding. Okay, so the penetration is a 171?
That's absurd. Which,
That's
I mean, if you compare it
for
to
tier 7 tanks.
the Churchill 7 here uses a 77 millimeter gun, or actually, you know what? I might have the 76. No, I have the 77 millimeter gun. So that 77 millimeter gun for the tier 6 regular British heavy tank is 148 millimeters penetration.
Stupid.
Yeah, and so you're looking at 171. Which the reason we have the Black Prince here is because the Black Prince is the first standard British heavy tank that gets the 17-pounder gun. So you have a tier 7
I know, right?
heavy tank gun on a tier 6 heavy tank.
And that's just okay. So you're slow. You don't really go anywhere really fast, but
big
once
as a
you
barn.
get there, you're gonna penetrate everything you hit. The APCR jumps up to 239 millimeters, which is
absurd. You
absurdly.
don't need this. If you're shooting APCR of this tank, you're doing it wrong.
8 gold per APCR round. I can't tell you what the equivalent, so it's probably
expensive.
2,500 in credits if you wanted to go that route.
It's-
Shell speed is 884, higher velocity.
Yeah.
The APCR obviously 1100. It gets that 200 bump. The HE is 884. Damage a minute 1800.
Yeah,
And
which
that's
is also
less,
the same as the Black Prince.
which is the same as the Black Prince, but less than the Churchill. But that's just because it fires faster. It's also less accurate. So
and with that less penetration on the Churchill 7, it's not comparable because the Churchill 7 does bounce. I actually have a Churchill 7 right now.
yeah,
And one of my complaints is the fact that I struggle to penetrate tanks at longer ranges.
So the pen is really gonna suck. Now your rate of fire is 12 comparative to 13.94, but 95. Sorry,
Gun.
but
Yeah.
you
But
we
also-
said the penetration and the fact that you're always gonna be top tier or
Generally, you do
yeah.
see tier 7.
You do
but
see top. I mean, you're going to be top tier or mid tier.
yeah.
You're never going to be low tier, so you're fine. And stationary, you have 0% fucking camo rating. That's the best.
Yeah.
Nothing. You
can't
do
hide
not
the
camo. You do not know how to camo. So basically, this is on the list because I say if you don't own one, everybody needs to experience the TOG. They're fun. If you don't own it, shame on you. It's
Yeah,
part
and
of history.
It's one of those tanks where if you just see one by itself, it's annoying because of how many hit points it has and how good the gun is, but you also know that you're going to beat it.
You
If you see a
ignore it.
platoon of
Yeah.
these,
If you see 3 of them coming at you, you're just like, all right, I'm done.
just give up. Just turn your tank sideways and let them have it because you're not going to win. Because
TOG.
you're looking at
Because TOG.
you're looking at 7,000 hit points that you have to kill in a tier 6 game. Yeah, there's a reason this is called
You
the
better
first
hope.
best heavy
You
tank.
better hope your artillery is on point. Just
Yeah.
please. All right, let's move on. IS-3.
Yeah, sure.
IS-3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is that tank. We do not have in Tank Compare this tank. It's not available currently. This is the most accurate that I can get.
The IS-3.
Yeah, this is the most accurate website that we can get for this is off tanks.gg. And this is going to be my next pickup. This is definitely, I think, right up my alley. I've gotten into playing my KV quite a bit, and I need a heavy premium for my tank crew. And I think this is really good. And are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. I mean,
Well-
on the website.
Oh, no.
No. No.
I actually, honestly, I didn't know we were doing this tank into this one, so I didn't have it ready.
Oh, okay. Do you need me to send it to you real quick?
Yeah, if you could shoot me the link really quick, that's my bad.
Not a problem. So the biggest reasoning behind wanting to get this tank is it's the unknown. I really think that's the biggest.
Well, and it's interesting that they're doing a premium IS-3 because there already is a Russian premium tier 8 heavy tank. So I was surprised to see that they're adding a new one because they have the IS-6 currently in game
Correct.
that you can get.
Yep.
The reason I'm thinking they're adding this in is because the IS-6 still gets premium matchmaking, and I'm wondering if they're trying to replace the IS-6 with this IS-3.
See, and
take
that's
away
what I was
premium.
thinking. I was thinking because they've already openly stated that they did not want premium matchmaking tanks openly sold. They want to control that, which is
Yeah.
money. Get it? Completely understandable.
Not only that, but they found that a lot of people there's so many people were playing these premium matchmaking tanks that it was making it unfair for everyone playing the regular tanks at that tier. Like it just
Correct.
it was ruining the game.
Oversaturation is the suck. So the DPM is 2085. That's pretty ballin'.
Yeah, that's good.
It base APCR. That's the other thing. You got to understand, people. We're starting with APCR as its base ammo. Okay.
Which is normally a premium ammo.
So on top of that, you got to think if we are starting with APCR, then that means our premium ammo has to be heat.
Yep.
So this tank is going to punch. It's going to absolutely punch. 390 damage. We've got a 221 penetration on millimeter. We've got 11.22 reload time without gun rammer, without crew.
That's the standard Russian 122 millimeter for you, though. Like that's
Yeah, I
if
don't-
you've
I
been
don't
playing
see anything
Russian
wrong with
tanks
that.
at this point, then you know the 122 millimeter.
Yeah, that's the standard reload right now on my KV. So the aim time. Well, the rounds. 5.35, pretty standard. Not really, no hangups on that. That aim time 3.26.
You're still beating IS-3.
You're beating
at
IS-3,
3.4.
but it's still a little trolly. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie, it's a little trolly. The dispersion, though,
It's terrible.
Just-
This is not an accurate gun.
not at all.
This tank is going to be set up as a brawler.
Yeah, you're gonna get in there and stick your face into places. Moving tank traverse and turret traverse,
Are terrible.
absolutely.
0.26 is slow. This tank, if something starts circling you like a fast medium tank, like say you're out in the open and
Hands
a
up.
light tank catches you, and start circling you, yeah, you're never gonna
You're done.
get your gun pointed at him.
Mm-mm.
He's gonna run circles around you for days.
So damage versus modules 165. The caliber is 122. Shell velocity is 1400. That's traveling. That's moving. Max range is 720. I like it. Ammo capacity 28 rounds.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
That's fairly good for your. You might run into
Eight-
some
you
ammo
know, you could
problems
take
if
8
you're
rounds of
carrying the
heat.
team.
Yeah, if you're carrying the team, you could easily, if you hadn't been managing, so you could take like 5 rounds of heat to 8 rounds of heat and have, at least 20 to 22 APCR. So I think that's
Yeah.
really good. Shell cost, that's a little pricey. Let's just be honest.
Well, but at the same time, it's a tier 8, and
It
it's
is
a
a tier
premium,
8.
so it's making more credit. So let's think about it
Exactly.
this way. So we're looking at 1180 shell cost for standard APCR for this tank. The APCR for the IS3, 6 gold. You're looking at 4,800 probably, or 3,200 credits for an APCR round for the standard IS3, and the regular AP shells are 1,028 silver. So
Jeez.
you're
Yeah,
only
so
paying 150 more credits to get APCR
that's
than
pretty good.
standard AP. Like that's actually a pretty decent deal if you're
No,
hitting.
That's
If
that's
you
a
dunk a
ballin'
bunch of
deal.
shots-
Normally APCR is like 2,500 a round. Like,
Yeah.
let's just be honest.
This
So-
you will lose some money on this tank, I think, if you dunk a bunch of shots, firing on the move, not paying attention, not giving yourself that time to aim with that bad aim. So if you start randomly firing this gun, you're gonna pay for it. But if you're getting hits, it'll pay for itself.
Top speed 40 miles an hour or 40 kilometers an hour.
That's pretty trucking for a heavy tank.
Yeah, 15 in reverse is pretty nice too. That'll dog out some.
That'll give you the chance to dunk in and out of corners.
Yep. The power. Yeah.
That's a heavy tank for you though.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's
normal
true.
for a heavy tank.
That's true.
10.67. Like the IS3 here is.
What's that at?
I have to find it. 14.6. So
What's its
you're
terrain resistance, real quick? If it's at 14.6 on.
hard terrain is 1, medium terrain is 1.4, and soft terrain is 2.1.
Yeah, see, soft on this is 2.1 with a 1.15 on the medium and a 96 on the hard.
It's okay.
So, what do you think?
You're on.
It's one of the, it's like, okay, are you going to notice the difference? Do you care to notice the difference?
Yeah, it's what's gonna happen is you'll never be ahead of the other heavy tanks, but you'll be right behind them. Like you're not gonna
Exactly.
get left in the dust. Maybe if there's a lot of hills, you're playing one of the hilly maps, you're gonna see some issues with that 10 horsepower per weight. But on the flatter maps, I don't think you're gonna have real big issue.
Gun elevation, 19 degrees. That's pretty
That's
arcing.
nice. The gun depression's a little sad at 5.
Is that gun
You're-
depression or is that just, we're just going to call that just beeline, normal?
Yeah, for Russians that's pretty normal. Which
Yeah.
Russians have always struggled on hills to
Yeah.
get their guns down.
You're not a comet. Let's just be, you're just not
You're
gonna be a
not an
comet.
American tank.
Yeah, you're not an American tank, exactly. Gun traverse, 26.25. Loving it.
That's not bad. Yeah,
Not
that's
bad.
nice.
The 180 gun traverse range.
180. It's a 360 degree turret.
Yeah, I know it is. It's the 180. I wonder what the speed is in comparison if you have damaged. Where's that at? So after firing, it's
Well,
4. Damage is 2. Huh. Yeah, it should be fine on the 180 to 180. So traverse is 22.94 degrees a second.
Yeah, this tank doesn't turn fast.
No, and that's the thing. I'm just sitting here going, okay, and if it's damaged, that's times 2. So you're really gonna be going slow.
Yeah, this is definitely a tank that you're gonna have to try and keep the enemies in front of you early. Like you can't let them get your flanks because once you start getting flanked in this, that's it.
You're gonna want to definitely keep that gun mantlet ring down below that arc. You do not want them to spray you with a shell and take it out because you're gonna be turning very slow on this. Load capacity, total weight, brake force, yada yada yada. Not really a big deal in this. You're not going to be upgrading it at all. Now everything else. Your hull armor is 110, 90, 60. Okay.
Yeah, which I
Sweet.
mean it's say IS3s.
The turret armor is 249, 172, 100. Let's just get over the whole armor, which we know is going to be atrocious.
Well, yeah, the hull armor is bad, but then you look at the design of the tank with the
Oh yeah.
which is where these tanks are really good because you at a straightforward with those angles on it, it's actually going to be really hard to pen.
3D model. All right. So on the 3D model, that slope right there on those cheeks, like if it's in a hold down position, that's like 170 on that upper, and that lower is like 219 across the lower gun mantlet with just a slight turn. That's insane. Don't even try and shoot the front of the gun. That's all 329 right there in the center of the gun. On the outside, it's 241, 224. Yeah, no, that's insane.
It's the only thing that's going to have any chance of penning this turret from the front is going to be a tier 10 tank destroyer, and even they're probably going to bounce.
Yeah.
This turret is what makes this tank. This turret is really, really tough to pen from the front. Even from the sides, if you're shooting straight on, 161 millimeters, still really good.
I mean, even the underneath here, 90 millimeters.
Yeah, this is
where,
a fairly well
where
armored
you can
tank.
get a good hit is if you can get above it in some regard and be shooting down. All of this entire top. So if you're shooting from far away or a tank destroyer or something, and you can get around, that's all 20 mil. Both of these little cupolas, they're going to be impossible to hit. So I wouldn't shoot for them. But if you're shooting top down on this thing, definitely go for the flat back of this. And all around the neck is good places to shoot it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's definitely it. And as you can see, it comes with a nice rounded turret. That turret is, I mean, you can't get much rounder than that.
Yeah, and that's iconic.
When you're reloading, just turn.
Yeah, that's iconic for the Russian higher tier tanks. Even when you look at their medium tanks, have that rounded turret. Makes them really, really hard to break.
Now, a good player, if you're gonna turn your turret, I'm gonna sneeze. Might need to edit that one out. Anyways, when you're gonna turn, this is something you're gonna want to watch. This square back right here on the very back, the opposite side from the gun mantlet and the cannon, there is a thinner chunk of armor due to the way this gun is designed in real life. It ran backwards really far into the tank, so there's a depression where they needed just a little extra room. So this one spot is just a little thinner, and then on the other side. So if you're turning, don't turn completely around. You don't want to take a pop to that. Anybody who knows that that's there, you can see it on the 3D model. It just gets just a little weaker right there. So comparatively.
Well, but I mean, and at that point, it's the back of the turret. So either someone's going to be behind you, or something. If the back of your turret's showing towards an enemy gun, shit's hit the fan.
Yeah, just if you're twisting the turret, just when you're reloading and using it, just make sure you only turn it about 80 degrees and not a full rotation. Don't show the back of your head. Is basically it. But other than that, I think it's a pickup. This is definitely, if you have the ability, I would say I want it. I'm gonna own it.
It's an interesting tank. I probably won't end up picking it up because I've always been leery of new tanks that Watt has released. Not for any particular reason. It's just my personality. I don't trust new tanks. What'll probably happen is I'll fight a bunch of these, get pissed off, realize it's an awesome tank, and then I'm sure at some point in time down the future they'll do another special event for it, and I'm sure I'll end up
Oh,
paying an ass ton
exactly.
of money for it. But
I'm just in the right time and a place right now. I'm saying that if you're working on your Russian heavy tank line and you would like a premium tank and you haven't picked up the other one, I would say pick up this newer one because I think the stats.
I
Uh,
think it's a much better choice than the IS-6. I think the only
yeah,
difference is the IS-6 gets premium matchmaking and this does not. But I I never
the
picked up the IS-6 because I don't like the IS-6. I don't think it's a good tank.
the punch and everything else, it's fine. I would gladly ride this tank in the battle against tier 10.
Yeah,
Like I am okay with that and this. Now, if you get into your tier 10 battles, you're still gonna want to watch your ass. Let's just be honest, okay?
yeah,
It's just gonna be a thing. So all these tanks you can pick up in the next from December 12th through the 25th. The
yeah.
first one we would suggest, the first one that goes on sale that we covered would be the artillery piece, which is gonna be on, oh, what is that? The 13th, right?
Sure.
It actually
It
doesn't
should.
give a date, but the first
It
one
should.
it doesn't
One
show
of
it.
the pages gives it a. Each one of these tanks will only be released for a day.
Right.
If you just check on a regular basis under the special sales every day in Wargaming, it'll tell you what
Did you
tank is
skip
for
the
sale.
weekends? They'll probably do like they did already with the previous sale, where they've put a bunch of the tanks back in for resale
I
again.
I'm curious. I think they might have done that because I don't think they realized that. I don't think they people realized they were doing these sales because I don't think they did a good job of advertising
Oh
it.
yeah, that's
So
the other
I
thing. They
think
haven't done a great job of advertising. That's another reason why I wanted to get this out there is because there really hasn't really been much information. Even some of the better streamers haven't really covered these tanks in this. Is it worth it for this holiday quote unquote sale? Is it, I would say
yeah.
some of them are. Do your research if you really are into some premium tanks. Definitely.
There's plenty of videos and information on videos on YouTube. There's plenty of information on Watt itself
If you
and
have any
Wargaming.
questions or anything like that, leave them down below. We can definitely help you out with anything that we know or point you in the direction of information if we haven't got it.
Exactly.
Perfect. So, as always, also, don't forget you do have your times 5 experience coming up from the 26th through the 30th. Don't forget your double XPs or your 5 times XPs, which would be daily firsts. That's going to be great. Good way to boost your tanks, especially if you gotten any of the premiums over the time. And also, be ready. New Year's, they're probably going to be putting some things out also for that. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Sounds good. From me, Mad Larkin, also, thank you very much for joining me today. I do
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
you going over these tanks with me.
Yeah, not a problem. It's always nice reviewing tanks compared to new and old.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys want to see anything else or have any comments, leave them down below. And also hit that like button and the subscribe button. You can see more content that me and Mad Larkin put out on my channel every week and more to come. So, from me, thank you.
And have a good one.